Between strains of rock, electronic, and funk, today's artist bridges a gap by putting a modern twist on Afrobeat. The flavorful African theme runs through his music, creating an instrumentally diverse and rhythmically textured sound that resonates with everyone from Maputo to Montreal. You're watching The Vocalist magazine presents Samito.
For me, it's all about music and songs. It's all about emotion. It's all about touching people, whatever I'm saying. So if it comes from Africa or it comes from Eastern Europe, there's a point where it doesn't matter. We're just working with elements, with material that is meant to create something that is just beyond categories and that goes through into people's hearts. And as a matter of fact, I think I do music to help break all those barriers because, I think we're more similar than we think.
So Samito, tell me what it was like growing up in Mozambique.
Well, growing up in Mozambique was really fun. I come from a very Christian family. My father is an Anglican priest, and I sort of grew up in a place where I had lots of people come from different places, and that was really what sort of informed me about everything else that was happening.
And what's the music scene like in Maputo, the city where you grew up?
Well, it's a very interesting place because historically it had a lot of different influences, from like Arabs and Persians to African oriented. But like any other place in the world, it also has an influence of everything else that is happening, like the pop music. So I sort of grew up in a place where there were many things, even not knowing, really but you would listen to Michael Jackson, but at the same time in the radio you would listen to like traditional music, and so I think I was lucky in that way because I come from a place where you had many cultural influences, and that's what has also informed my choices in music, also in life.
And so then you went on to play with many different bands.
Absolutely. I played with many bands in Mozambique between the age of 14, 15 to 22 when I moved to Cape Town in South Africa. And I played with a lot of bands there. I played with a female hip-hop trio called Godessa. And we actually toured Belgium and London, back then. And I was just lucky to be there at that point, and many other bands. And then I moved to Montreal in 2005. I played with Kwekwe and the Movement, Emma Frank, Radio, Pierre Quenders, Lauren Klassen, Sergio Popa, Quebeco, many bands.
So what do you think of the Montreal music scene?
It's very inspiring, and it's really at the center of what informs my music, because we know historically Montreal has been seen as a city where musicians did experiment a lot. I mean, you have great pop bands like Arcade Fire who came out of Montreal, has indie, groups, and I think that's a very particular thing that we sometimes take for granted, but there's a very particular culture of experimentation in this town, and it forces artists to like look at music and try to rethink it differently. How can I come up with something really different and eclectic? And we like it to be in a place where you can have that. You can go and find different people and, you know, just put them into one room and then, you know, just create. So I think that's a gift, you know. It's really something I don't take for granted. Yeah.
Na lai 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 na tiku lai lai na jane pati tiku lai lai na tiku lai na tiku lai na tiku lai na tiku lai na terra que busco sossego eu quero voltar outro dia amanhã deixa esse fogo acender o teu peito quero voltar tiku lai na 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 se eu souber que gosto de você se eu souber que gosto de você se eu souber que gosto de você se eu souber tiku lai na 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 tiku lai Est-ce que vous êtes là? Est-ce que vous êtes là? Donc, Tikulaina veut dire mon pays. Mon pays est là où ma musique est. Donc, à Tswa, mon pays est ici. On y va! 1, 2, 3, 4. Tikulaina. Tiku lai na, lai 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 na, tiku lai lai na.
of course, I want to talk about Samito, your first album.
Yeah.
What was your vision for the album?
My vision for the album, for this one, was really come out, it was done pretty fast. It was done in about 20 days during the month of March, which was a risky thing to do, but also guided by a lot of intuition. All the musicians that were in, I knew I had great musicians with me, and all I wanted is to put them in a room and say, hey guys, here's the material. Let's jump into it and let's give the best that we can. And it actually paid off because, when you listen to the album, you have this live energy in it. And musicians were very, very generous in terms of, ideas and how to. So yes, I'm very happy with that.
Sébastien, tell me how you met Samito.
I met him at the Latrec studio. He was walking by and I didn't know that guy, and I knew pretty much everyone here, so I was wondering who he was, and we spoke with Benoit Bouchard, who recorded the album, and he told me we had to work with this artist. So I went up, listened to the songs, and I fell in love with him.
And so when you met him or when you heard him, what made you want to work with him?
I think it was just by heart was so good and so different from what we've heard in the past. And it's really a unique sound that Samito has. It's a world beat with different influence from rock, from electro. So it was just a big exposure, something really special that we don't hear often in Quebec. So that's where the interest started to be drawn.
And you sing in 4 languages, right? English,
Yeah.
French, Portuguese, and Tswa.
Yes.
And
yes.
on the album, you also have songs in all four languages?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
I do.
First of all, tell me, where did you learn all these languages?
It comes from my background. I grew up in a parish that had an English service. In fact, it had 3 services, one in the morning in Tswa, and the other one at 10 in English, and the other one at 6 in Portuguese. So basically, from an early age, I was exposed to like 3 languages, at the same time. And then French, I learned here when I arrived 10 years ago.
Só eu sei como quero assim, com calma vou.
And how did Montreal change you as a person?
It changes everything. First of all, is that as an immigrant, first you have to learn to live as a foreigner. And then not everything about your past is gonna stay. And that you have to negotiate within your reality. You have to learn the codes of your new society. You have to learn how to, engage with people. And I think that's a huge transformation interiorly. You also learn that, some of your roots and you have to be able to put them aside, even though it's part of your essence, it's almost visceral, but, you have to humble yourself and accept the new challenge and accept to change. That's the only way you can go forward and, learn to live with people and interact and build things with people, So for me, it has changed me in a very profound way,
So what we perceive as African music is kind of very upbeat, happy, but you kind of contrast that with dark lyrics.
Africa is a continent of like 1.1 billion people. So the cultures are very, very diverse and sometimes very complex. There's a lot of different styles, different symbolisms. Like there are cultures where people will dance in funerals. So even at that level is a very big contrast to what we perceive as being happy and sad. And Also, it's just like in terms of lyrics, I am as human as anyone else, you know, and I have very high moments and very dark moments and sad moments. And the other stuff that I wrote before, I wrote it more like an observer, a third person, you know. But this one, I thought it was important to, like, you know, just be honest, be frank at all levels, you know, and make it transparent, you know, as your first album, but also I wanted people to see me for who I am.
Senhora doido foi no mundo sem querer. Milagre não faço, não peço não, oh não. Senhora dona dos caminhos que eu andei, perdão-te como não parti. Amar é tudo quando o riso acende, quando apaga, apaga, não, tudo mais. They know that, no, oh, they know that, oh, no. Senhora dona dos anseios que senti, perdoa a minha já que a mão não tem. Amar é tudo quando o riso acende, quando apaga, não, tudo mais. They know that, no, oh yeah. They know that, oh, no. They know that, no. They know that, oh, no. Amiga, deixa essa miséria atrás que o medo passa. Amiga, deixa essa penúria atrás que o medo passa. Se ainda dói na cabeça, só que dói no peitinho, o tempo apaga, tudo apaga. Deixa fluir, deixa sonhar. Quis dia a dia, mas amar dia a dia. Deixa fluir, deixa sonhar. Quis dia a dia, mas amar dia a dia.
So you've been doing music for more than 10 years now, 10 years in Montreal. And it's just recently that the ball really started to get rolling. You start getting so many interviews, really get recognition. But it hasn't really been a very easy journey, right?
Yes, it's been a tough journey, but I try not to complain a lot at this point. I just want to enjoy and move forward and seize the moment, and make sure I release as much music as I can in the next couple of days now. Just just fast, and work with people and engage people, collaborate, and travel, so I'm very excited, yeah.
And so what are your future plans with Samito?
Well, for the moment, we are developing the base here in Quebec. I think it's really important to have something solid in your hometown.
And after that, we already had people from Europe approaching us for the shows and label and publishing, and we want to develop South America. We want to make him tour worldwide.
So we go step by step and try to develop his career in the best way and not go at places too quickly. We just have to build a fan base here and slowly develop other territories.
And so just to sum up, what do you want people to take away from your music?
I want people to sort of have a sense that we're more similar than we are different, I mean, we spend time looking at our difference. He comes from here, he speaks this and that, but I think at the end of the day, we're very similar. We have the same aspirations as people, you want a great life. You want to go to great school. You want your kids to enjoy their life and grow healthy. And I want people to realize that it's simple, but it's. I think we're very far from understanding that. I was born in Africa, in Southern East Africa, far from this place. But since the age of 13, 14, I was attracted to the idea of moving abroad and making music and making a career and sharing music. So that's what I want people to retain. I don't want more than that, and I want them to understand my music as theirs. I do this music for us, for anyone. So take it and just enjoy it and do whatever you want with it.